Hey guys, welcome back to episode 12 of the show. I'm on episode 12. 12 doesn't sound like a very exciting number, but 12 weeks sounds like a good commitment. So I've made it 12 weeks in a row. It's very late right now. It's Monday night, and I just got home from a show. And I was so tempted just to go to bed. As you can see, I'm wearing my pajamas. Well, you can't see if you're just listening, but I really wanted to get this show out before Tuesday morning because I usually do it Sunday nights. And I actually did record one last night and I just wasn't happy with it. I just wasn't feeling it. I was off. I got a cold because the 2-year-old I babysit got a cold. And guess what? Nobody gives a shit about the babysitter. I've babysat off and on many years and I've adore the children. But nobody ever cares if their kid is sick. I've never once had a parent call me and say, "Oh, we're not going to have you babysit because our kid is sick." No. I just show up. Kid's really sick. And they're like, "Yep, he's sick." And then I get sick. And nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares about the babysitter. But if I ever showed up to babysit a kid and I was sick and I got said child sick, oh, parents would be so mad at me. Like, how dare you show up at our house with your snot and give it to our child? Anyway, it's just one of the dangers of the job, I guess. It's a dangerous job. I'd be annoyed if I didn't love the kid to death, but I love this kid, so I'll take it. I'll take a snot-filled nose for a few days. Yeah. If you're a parent out there, maybe just think about your babysitter. Think about if she might have to miss a stand-up show. Luckily, it wasn't too bad tonight because I performed live and I did not want to cancel. But during these times, even though we're coming out of the cove, it's still very risky to go anywhere and be sneezing. But I was good. It was so exciting. I headlined a show in Lancaster and just outside show. It was safe. But it feels like things are coming back. I've been booking quite a few shows recently coming up, so hopefully we'll be traveling again. I'm eventually going to have to get vaccinated, I imagine, to travel. Not that they require it to travel, but to do a lot of things. I know if I want to work cruise ships again, we're going to be required to get vaccinated. I haven't gotten vaccinated yet, obviously. You probably figured that out in the last 30 seconds. And I feel like I've been getting like vaccination shame. The vaccinations kind of become sort of like the new like politics or religion, where it's like, just don't bring it up at the dinner table. Because people have some really strong opinions. When I say I haven't been vaccinated, they like right away, they're like, "You're anti-vax?" I'm like, no, I just haven't done it. I'm not anti-vax. I'm just procrastination vax. I'm not in a hurry. I had somebody get mad at me like, everybody has to get vaccinated. That's how we're going to stop the spread. You're part of the problem. I'm like, well, you know what? I never got COVID this past year, so I'm obviously a safe, responsible person. Because I'm not very lucky. I'm not somebody who has great luck. So I'm not going to say it's luck. I'm taking full responsibility that it was my actions and I am responsible for this. I just, I mean, I'd like nobody. It's not a legitimate excuse to just say, "Oh, I'm a little scared." People are like, "Well, that's stupid." It's like, no, it's not. I have every right to be a little scared. especially after what happened with the Johnson and Johnson. And that same person that was shaming me was like, it was one person in 7 million. I'm like, it's still one. And I don't want it to be me. I'm going to get it. I'm just waiting. I would get it already, probably if they were like, you get this one time and then you're good. But you're like, no, it's probably only going to last for like 6 months. So then if I'm not going to work a cruise ship until another 6 months, because I don't know when they're coming back. And then they're going to be like, oh, your vaccination card isn't up to date. And then I got to get it again. I don't want to get this shit twice in 6 months. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting till it's necessary. And I'm not out in the world spreading cove. I'm just spreading a 2-year-old's snotty nose. So don't shame me. I don't think there's anything wrong with being scared of something that you don't know anything about. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I should be reading a bunch of literature and educating myself on vaccinations. But I don't want to, at least not right now. But if you know anything good that I should read, send it my way, and I will. I've been deeply involved in this trial of Derek Chauvin. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. That's how I pronounce it. And I don't know, just today they did like closing arguments. And then when they sent the jury out to deliberate, like I just started crying. Because I don't know why I'm laughing after I said I was crying. That's a comedian's response to crying, is to laugh right after. I guess it's just all the talk of like, oh, if he doesn't get convicted of murder, there's going to be riots. And I don't think there will, or maybe I just hope there won't, but I just can't imagine like going through a second round of rioting and protesting like we did over the summer. Like it was just so sad. All the Black Lives Matter. I mean, if it was just protesting in the street, that's fine. But when people are out destroying cities, it's just, it just makes me sad to think if it could possibly happen again. I hope not. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just really sad. I also watched like almost every bit of the trial that I could. More on just like, I mean, it seems obvious what the officer did, but just more interested in, I feel like it's not very often. I guess if you seek it out, you can watch live trials more often. I don't know. I've never sought it out, but I don't feel like it's not very often where I'm like watching. It's something I just see in like movies or television, and then to watch a live one, you're like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I just like to compare, like, is it like the movies? I don't know. This is stupid. I shouldn't be talking about this. This is dumb. And I can't erase it because I don't know how to edit my podcast. Maybe I should learn. It's always scary right before I press start. Because I'm like, this is it. Whatever you say, unless you want to stop it and start over. But hey, that's good for you guys because you get to hear how many times I'm an idiot. As I just did. I've had to give up mayo this week. Mayo, short for mayonnaise. I didn't have to give it up, but I made the conscious decision to buy mustard instead because it seems healthier. I have a mayonnaise addiction that I've developed over the last couple years. I don't know what it is. I never liked mayonnaise when I was young. Something happened when I hit 40 and I just fell in love with this creamy white substance. I'm single and 40, and I love this creamy white substance. I crave it. I would put mayonnaise on anything. I've put it on pasta before. I mean, it's kind of like Alfredo. That's a joke I do, but it's true. Crackers and cheese with some mayonnaise. It's a condiment. It's a good condiment. But I was starting to kind of gross out on myself because I was going to like a bottle of mayonnaise a week. Just like a squeeze bottle, not like one of those tubs. But it's a lot of mayonnaise. I'm probably going to take it up again next week. The mustard's okay. It's not the same. You know what? Sometimes you got to have some guilty pleasures in life. I don't eat fast food, so I should be able to have a jar of mayonnaise. That's my rationale. And those are my thoughts on mayonnaise. Isn't this exciting? Aren't you so glad you tuned in? I'm so glad I'm doing this at 11:45 at night. Actually, I'm glad. I'm usually in bed by now. During the pandemic, I was going to bed at 9 o'clock. So life is coming back. I'm awake late. This is amazing. I remember like so many nights, it would just be like 6 o'clock. I don't think how long until it's my bedtime. I never in my life looked forward to going to bed as I have this past year. So I'm glad things are coming back because that wasn't a good feeling. I didn't like it. It's like you're just, there was one day I was talking to my neighbor and I was describing to him like my day. And I was like, well, I do this and this. And, you know, so the days are going by pretty fast. And he was like, that's not a good way to live. Like just wanting your day to go by fast. It's like, that's not a good way to live. Oh, BRB. One sec. Sorry. Not that you knew I was gone. I hit pause. Yeah, I've been having, well, I've already talked about anxiety a lot here, but it hasn't been that bad recently, actually. It's gotten better. But there was one story that I got reminded of because before the pandemic, this is like August of 2019. I've never been somebody that had anxiety attacks, so I didn't know what they were. I guess it was an anxiety attack. I don't know. I just felt like I was having like a heart attack. Like my chest was just like hurting. And if I stood up, I felt like dizzy. Like and then I started freaking myself out because I was like alone. And I'm like, well, if I had a heart attack or something happened to me and I was in my room, it'd be a couple days before anyone realized. Like even my mom might call me and just think I didn't call her back for a couple. Like nobody's gonna find me. Maybe now that I babysit, the mother might look for me. But I mean, at that point, I wasn't doing anything but comedy. There's nobody looking for me. They would just assume I'm a flaky person who didn't show up for her job. So I think then starting to think about the fact that if something happened to me and nobody would find me made it even worse. And I like became convinced that I was having a heart attack. So I drove myself to the emergency room. But the closest one for me with my insurance is like 30 minutes away. And I was like, there's nothing like more like sad or creepy of just like driving yourself to the emergency room. You're like, I might have a heart attack. I'm going to drive myself. I'm going to get on the freeway and operate a vehicle because I think my heart might stop at any moment. So this is a good idea. But I mean, I'm not going to call like 911 when I'm just sitting in my room, perfectly able to breathe and stand up. And they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, oh, I just don't feel good. I don't know. So I went to the emergency room and then I was in there for like 6 hours. And then the doctor came in, like they put up all that, like they've set up the EKG, like all the patches all over me and all this stuff. By the way, there was a lot of people in the waiting room. And if you want to get in right away, which I didn't know, I wasn't sure why they took me right away. And then I told my mom, I was like, it's so weird. I walked in and they took me right away, even though there was a bunch of people waiting. She's like, well, anytime you say you might be having a heart attack, they're going to take you in as soon as possible. So I didn't know that. So yeah, if you need to get into an emergency room very quickly for any reason, even if it's just that your big toe hurts, say you're having a heart attack. Anyway, they took me in. And after all those hours, the doctor came in. And of course, he was adorable. Because anytime I'm making a total ass of myself, it's going to be in front of somebody that's adorable. And he had like that smile where it's like somebody's kind of trying not to giggle a little bit. But he was like, maybe you just had an anxiety attack. Like he was super sweet, but he was like, I'm sure I'm not the first person to go to the emergency room for a heart attack and it's just anxiety, but I just felt so stupid. I was like, okay. But the only reason I brought it up is because it's still terrifying because sometimes it's been happening recently again. I mean, just during this pandemic, maybe there's something really wrong with me. I don't know. And it's undiagnosed. But I talked to another friend of mine who has anxiety attacks. And I was like, does it feel like you're having a heart attack? And he said, yeah. And I was like, thank God. Because I never knew that's what anxiety attacks felt like. And not that I feel like I'm a prime target for somebody who would have a heart attack, but I mean, anytime you're in your 40s, anytime you're getting older, I think about it constantly, like on a daily basis, like every single day. I'm like, what if my heart stopped today? That's a lot of pressure to live under. I mean, I've always kind of felt things like that. Like I would leave the house and be like, maybe today's the day I get hit by a car, whatever, something like that. But I also feel like with that stuff, I can take more precaution. I can like make sure I'm being very safe crossing the street or whatever. But when your own body feels like it might give out, like you're sort of like, and it's just anxiety, you're like, oh, this is just my head it's fucking with me, I guess. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I'm healthy. Christina, if you're watching this, it's not a Karen Carpenter situation. Christina gets worried about my eating, but don't worry, I eat. I'm not going to Karen Carpenter on you. No, I think talking to my friend who said that he had the same thing happens is obviously just anxiety. But I'm curious why anxiety gets so much worse when you get older. Because I would understand having anxiety attacks like at the beginning of the pandemic and stuff. But like now everything's moving on. It's sort of getting back to normal, but it still comes on. Maybe it's just because as you get older, there's more thought. Oh my God, there's a gnat. Hold on, I gotta kill it. Motherfucker. Oh, I hate that shit. Maybe there's just more, you just think about death more just because you're getting older. I guess. I don't know. I mean, how can you not? Every family event I go to now, not that I go to a ton this year, but I mean, it's an interesting progression as you get older from being a kid to being in your 40s. And then I'm talking to my parents or aunt and uncles or whoever's older than me. And It's like every discussion is what's wrong with everyone. Like this person thinks they have cancer. Oh, we think he's going into dementia. Oh, they can't, like it's just constant, like debilitating problems. And you're like, man, getting old's rough. I feel very young though. And you know what? I'm burping. I'm burping with Christina. We're having a lot of fun. That's the key, right? You got to have fun. Excuse me. I was talking about burping and then I burped inside my mouth. I kept it in because this is not the burping podcast. Yeah. I think that's about it. I had my mailbox broken into. Somebody took a crowbar, and this is the second time that this happened to my building in a month. For any of you that might not know, I live in Los Angeles. And it's because they've sent out, so a week before mine got broken into, the stimulus, most people, almost everyone I know got it direct deposit. I got mine on a debit card in the mail. So they must be sending out a lot of these stimulus debit cards, and there's people breaking into mailboxes because when the building contacted the post office to get a mailbox replaced, they're like, oh, it's going to take like 2 months because this is something that's happening everywhere in Los Angeles. Everybody's mailboxes are getting broken into. So if you live in your own house, be happy because apartment building people like me are suffering. So I just basically don't get mail every day now. I don't think I'm missing out on much. I'm glad I got that debit card. So yeah, that's the fun stuff happening here in LA. Just looting my mailbox. They're not gonna get me. I have done pretty well financially during this pandemic, and I'm extremely grateful. Who would have thought? Who would have thought I would have the most money I've ever had in the year of a pandemic? Life's crazy, guys. All right. Thank you for watching this. Go to my website. I've never told people to go to my website yet because there was nothing on there, but now shows are opening back up. So you know what? I'm going to write myself a note to update my website. Go to my website, jenmurphy.live. And maybe I'll be doing a show near you soon. If not, just keep coming to my YouTube page because there's a variety of silliness going on and it's fun. And if you'd like to support, you can always Venmo me at Jen Murphy Comedy. You can support Christina and I with Jill and Off. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Jill and Off. And again, I don't think you're here for burps. If you are a burp lover, you should follow Christina on OnlyFans at Burps Magoo, MAGOO, Magoo. All right. Let's hope it's a good day this week, tomorrow, and every day this week. And let's hope there's no rioting. I hope not. Okay. Love you all. Bye.